Your Blue Yeti, right?
There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
We gotta wait for it to carry.
Yeah, it'll
through.
catch up. They'll be in the past.
Come on.
You can always cut the intro as well. Okay, it's working. Yeah, nice.
Is that
Hey,
Jason? Are you hearing us? Okay. Cool. Sound.
Okay, it's working.
You guys,
Woo!
we just said so many cool and
Yeah, we were
hilarious
just being
things
really. Yeah, the banter
that-
was amazing,
that
but
you
you
just-
missed it. You
you're-
missed it.
you're gonna
Honestly,
miss
we should.
all of
Yeah,
it.
that's okay. We're just gonna have to turn it up to like the maximum now.
Yeah.
like the full 10% of our power.
Right. Okay, so how is the sound? And no matter what you say, there's nothing we can do about it because we're just using my crappy, built-in laptop mic and video, and that's why there was no sound before because I had it set up to use my normal mic.
The Blue Yeti, which is an
Blue
iconic
Yeti. It's
microphone.
a great one.
That's how we start.
You know what? I brought it with me to Gen Con, and it's just sitting in my room.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I didn't
this is
wanna
fine.
carry it around
You
in
guys
my
are fine with it.
backpack.
Yeah, it sounds really good. There we go.
Okay. Well, good job, Apple, for making quality products in that case.
Okay, you got your money.
Yeah.
You're in the pocket of Big Apple.
Yeah. Will, how's it going, man?
Yeah, it's good. I'm having a lovely Gen Con.
Me
I'm gonna-
too.
yeah,
Me
I know.
too.
I don't know if you guys saw the game we did live yesterday, but that was the highlight for me.
It was
we did
so
a live
fun.
game. Yeah, I loved
Yeah.
it. I loved every second of it. I was.
Meeting Deborah Anwal and Jasmine Villar was super cool. and they
that was the
were-
first time I'd ever played with. I think anyone apart from you.
Really?
I never
You
actually
hadn't
played with the
played with
dudes. Yeah,
Monty or
no, we've never
Kelly
played
before?
before, but
Okay.
it fell into it like.
I
immediately.
love
Yeah.
and Monty and I were having a very late night, 2:00 in the morning conversation about this.
Last night.
Well, I suppose this
This
morning.
morning, okay, yeah.
At the bar, and just talking about sort of DM styles and storytelling
Yes.
stuff, which was just an epic late night conversation. There are different ways to play D&D, different ways to DM, and no one way is bad or wrong as long as you're not hurting somebody.
Yeah.
But his style is for my money, the best.
Yes, I was really impressed. I knew he was good.
Yeah.
But I was really impressed just being one of his players. So the game had such a sense of momentum.
Yes.
But despite the fact that we were goofing around, we had role play moments and stuff.
Right.
We were having a good time. But
Right.
yeah, he kept a real sense of pace, which is those open games are really good for the chaos.
Yes.
But for a 2.5 hour maximum one shot, which was
shot.
our limit.
and
we had this.
a very hard stop time.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
it was so much fun.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. So, for those who are wondering, we should be posting that at some point. That will be posted on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know where it's going.
We don't know where.
Probably on the dude's channel.
Probably
right?
on the
If they're
dude's
running
channel,
it.
I would think.
But we're all doing clips. I gather.
We'll probably get clips that we can post. I mean, who knows? Does Gen Con have a YouTube channel?
They've got it, right? Surely.
Sure.
I've never been on it, but yeah, I'm sure they will.
Anyways, once it's available, we'll let everybody know.
We'll link it in, yeah.
What else? What are the other highlights for you so far?
The parties have been really good. There's usually a big community event every evening. There was the Start Playing Games on Friday.
Right.
And
Thursday.
Thursday.
The 16-bit
the
bar.
16 bar. And then yesterday we did Matthew Lillard's whiskey bar
Just
thing.
downstairs.
Yeah. But I didn't really drink at either of them because, it's Gen Con. Yeah, I think Gen Con is a place where you'd think you'd get really messy, but actually, I think people definitely do. But I don't
I'm
want
not going to name any names,
Yeah.
but
I don't want to be. I did it a few years ago where I got really hungover day 2, and it was we're only here for 4 days
Sure.
to see everybody.
Sure.
So I really want to try and be in my right mind.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah. Yeah.
We can get drunk on a call one time.
I've never been drunk in my life. Actually.
Okay, straight up. Yeah.
That's a member and patron exclusive bit of knowledge there. So I don't know. I don't know that it's going to happen.
I don't think
either,
it's
but-
no, yeah, it's not. I don't think it's worth it. I don't I don't recommend. Like I say, it just kind of ruins the next day.
It seems
and we have great conversations anyway. It's good people. It's
Yeah.
not like you have to get drunk to get through the conversations. They're totally pleasant.
No shade on anybody, but I feel like it's maybe more of a young person's game.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Once you hit a certain age, it's that's not as fun as it used to be.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't
and
know.
like I say, I just like being around the next day. It's fun
Right,
at the
right,
time, but then again, the hangover is just not worth it.
Right.
Especially because it's a great time when you're sober anyway.
Yeah.
And if you guys get a chance to come to Gen Con, anyone who's watching, it is a really good time.
Yes, it is. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, so I used to, in my former life, you know, I was an executive at a financial company, essentially, for 17 years, and I spent a ton of time traveling for work to visit, like, potential clients, going to, smaller little conventions, big, huge, like, industry-wide conventions.
Yeah.
And, like, the change, actually, there's a lot of similarity in just sort of what you're doing and how you're feeling and sort of like, but the huge difference is this is like really fun and cool, and everybody that you hang out with is what you want to be around.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
Yeah,
and like so night and day in a lot of ways. But Gen Con's awesome. I'm really looking forward to going to PAX U this year.
Are you gonna get? Have you got anything lined up for that? Can you say right now?
I can't because I don't.
Okay, right. That's yeah.
I'm sure that there will probably be things, but right now
PAX U I think is one of it. Like Gen Con, you got to book in almost a year before.
Yeah.
I think PAX U they're still taking events like a couple of months before, so it could happen.
Have you been? Are you going?
I've never been. I might go. It's a long way from the UK.
Yeah. But it's a little closer than Indianapolis.
It's true. It's a little nearby. I would love to see just a second convention. Gen Con is my only frame of reference.
Yeah.
So, I would like to. It's just, how it is. It's time.
Yeah.
But it is so nice meeting people as well. There is no bad Apple there really isn't in the industry. Like, if you're here, well, maybe there are. But
if there are, we don't know them.
Yeah, we don't know them. I don't know them. Like, even people you'd think, like, might be... Well, I mean, how, like, who would you think would be, like, people who are incredibly successful, incredibly famous, like, Matt Mercer.
Sure.
You can't call
I met Matt Mercer.
Yeah. Not snooty at all.
16,
like,
oh my gosh,
yeah,
he was
frustrating normal.
So lovely.
Just a wonderful guy. Like, you'd think, I mean, I haven't met him, but, like, by reputation as well, you'd think, are these people going to be like, don't touch me, don't look in my eyes, you know what I mean?
He did have a bit of a bouncer that was kind of like, making sure people gave him a little space.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
But I don't think that he requested that. I think she just took it on herself to be like, I'm gonna like keep you from getting smothered because
it was a private
smothered.
Party as well, that one. I think if it's like a public thing and Matt Mercer shows up, very quickly he has to leave.
Yes,
because everyone starts messaging.
Swarmed.
Suddenly the entire convention just. Same with Brennan, I bet. Well, the really famous people.
Right.
They've got to be careful, but they're lovely. All these really. Yeah, it'd be more interesting if they weren't, in a weird way. You could be like, well, I met them and they're the worst. But no, like, everyone here is so cool.
Yeah, it's been fun. The showroom is amazing. I just wish I had more time and money, I guess, for that matter, to like
what do we all?
to just slow down, right? And like, because I walk that floor and it's so crowded and there's so many things that like almost everywhere I look, I'm like, I want to check that out. I want to check that out. I want to check that out. But like, there's a throng of people between me and they're kind of pushing me along, and I feel like there's also like thousands of other things that I want to see, and there's places to go and people to see and events to attend, and so instead I just end up sort of like moving along with the current of the crowd.
Yeah, you end up kind of being swept away.
That looks cool. That looks cool, and I don't have time to see any of it.
You could really, and it's labyrinthine as well. You kind of stumble on halls, like huge, that you've never even seen before.
Yeah.
Like, I've been here 3 years. Like, wow, this place goes on for miles.
My favorite part, I think, of Gen Con that I've witnessed so far, and I felt this way the last 3 years now, is like the artist area. Like where all the artists
Artist
are
Alley.
displaying.
Yes, down underground.
Man.
Yeah,
like,
they are amazing.
So much cool stuff. I wish. And again, speaking of money,
you have to be very
thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
for,
I was gonna
for the pieces that I would like to buy.
You can really see how, with a little less, uninhibited walkthrough, you could drop $10,000, $20,000.
Yeah.
Like it's incredible how cool the stuff is.
Yeah.
In a way, being from England helps because I can't buy stuff I can't take home. You know what I mean? So it's not a small flight. You know.
And for me, having a wife who has very different tastes than I do helps, because I know that like anything I bought, she would be like, I don't know where you think you're hanging that. But
not in the bedroom.
Not in our home. Maybe in the garage. I don't
know. Well, you know.
I do have a little office upstairs that she lets me do what I want.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, so you can
I could
take
probably
a special piece.
Some space there, but. Okay, should we get to some?
Yeah, let's do some questions. Yeah, let's do some hanging.
I don't have a ton since last month. Thank you, by the way, for doing this.
Oh, that was my pleasure. It was
Like-
an honor to be here.
like,
I'm a big fan. You know,
I'm not,
like I
I'm
I
not
get the,
paying you. I don't know if you
that's
realize.
it. No, well, I don't. Yeah, in a way, I'm getting the participation for free. Like, normally everyone else is sending money. I get to be here for free. It's lovely.
Yeah. So thanks for taking time out of your busy Gen Con day.
It's cool that you do this with a second person often. Actually, as well.
I always have so far.
Yeah.
It used to be for a long time. My good friend Dallin, who I play with at home, he's my Doug.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Will always hangs out with a couple of guys here.
Yeah, we
Doug
come
and,
as a McKinney. Yeah, we come as a trio every year.
Yeah.
We share it.
And they're awesome. I've gotten to be pretty good friends with.
Yeah. Oh, they love you.
them.
They
They're
yeah.
great.
Well, everyone loves Colby.
Well, okay. Let's get to some questions. If you ever get to building some third party, this is from Zenvo24. If you ever get to building some third party stuff, what are you going to focus on? Illrigger, Gunslinger, etc. Good question. Again, and this comes up a lot. I don't do a lot of third party builds. For the main reason of when I do, they always underperform.
Yeah, because it's a smaller. There are GMs who are just
smaller
never
potential
anything
audience.
that's not official. Yeah.
The one exception to that actually was the Arcane Hand Monk, which I played in the one shot.
The Dungeon Dudes
yesterday. And I think the reason that did so well, though, if I'm being honest, is because I filmed it with Kelly and Monty in their studio.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so they were like, "Hey, we're doing a video with Colby," and so it's like,
yeah, absolutely.
influx
They bring the
audience.
tier. But that's really cool.
That was a lot of fun, and so even so you guys know I did an Illrigger interview, right? I interviewed the creators at MCDM of the Illrigger, and that was a lot of fun. And the video, even that video, didn't perform very well. Yeah. So that said, sometimes I do still like to just do a video, just because it's interesting to me and cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Illrigger is cool.
I need to check it out. I still haven't.
It's like your quintessential Death Knight kind of evil
paladin kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And there's some cool stuff. It can get a little complex. They have sort of a lot of systems for the class, depending on the subclass, especially. But I think it's cool.
I think maybe with more third-party stuff on D&D Beyond, which I think legitimizes it for a lot of people who might not just buy a whole physical book.
For sure.
Maybe there's room for that in the future, like when the next big thing drops, whatever that is.
I did a post, a poll a few months ago, and I asked something like, what's allowable at your table? Core rules only.
Oh, right, yeah.
As long as it's on D&D Beyond, it's allowable, et cetera, including third-party stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, that response far and away got the most votes.
Just if it's on D&D Beyond.
As long as it's on D&D Beyond.
I guess it's because it's
and of
easy
course,
to build
speak with your dungeon
Yeah, of
master
course,
as
yeah,
long
speak
as,
with the DM.
but generally speaking, it seems like most people can use it on D&D Beyond with permission from their DM. I've done some oh gosh, the mutant. What's the critical role? The Blood Hunter.
Oh yes, the Blood Hunter. Yeah,
Blood
of course.
Hunter.
Yeah,
I've done a couple of Blood Hunter builds that were fun and went well. I've done a couple of dudes. If you could recommend one subclass that you've created that you think that I would like best, knowing me,
I think you would enjoy the class, the Element Bender class.
The Element Bender
from Ryoko's. Yeah, that's a whole original class with 4 subclasses in the book.
Okay. Bender sort
Avatar.
of. Okay.
Yeah, Element. Yeah, so very Avatar coded.
Okay.
It's cool because you'd think it would be 4 subclasses, right? Earth, water, air, fire.
Right.
That's not how it works.
But no.
Yeah, anyone, as you build it, you can take any elements you like as you progress in levels. So you can kind of become a master of all 4 elements by level 17, or you can repeatedly take specialty in fire over and over again. The greater degree you're in the fire specialty, you upcast fire spells.
Oh, nice.
So they're a half caster, but if you go fire, you can cast 8th level fire spells by the end. So, but if you diversify, you can get access to the air, water, wind, and fire spells. But you were only hitting 5th level with each one.
Right.
So you can
you're
really
a master
play around.
or you're a jack of all trades.
You
master of
can,
none.
or you can take 2 and go each way, and then the subclasses are really good. I think you'd like it because you like the monk, I would say it in the way that the paladin is sort of halfway between cleric and fighter. Mm-hmm. The Element Bender is kind of halfway between monk and druid.
Okay.
So I think it's like the half casting monk.
Nice.
vibe.
I'll have to check it out then.
Yeah, I'll send you a copy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna hold you to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's check in real quick on the comments just to see. Cause sometimes I like to see if there's questions.
Live questions.
Colby, I can't grow a beard. I can only ever have stubble. This is true. I get. It's like thick right here, but
then it thins out.
It's a
Yeah.
little thin on the sides.
I think it comes through. I mean, you've still got your full head of hair, though, so it doesn't matter.
This is
I
true.
feel like having the full beard is useful if you go bald at 12 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Is that when you went?
No,
bald?
I shaved my head when I was about 25.
Oh, really?
So it was only 5 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was on the way out. You know what I mean? It was a mercy kill. Like, you know how it is. It's like. Yeah, pretty much just before. If you want to see what I look like with hair, all the YouTuber stuff I did before D&D shorts, I had hair.
What were you doing before D&D?
There's like a channel called What Culture was the main one, which is like a very Watch Mojo style, but English. They were big, yeah, like sort of like 5-6 mil subs across their channels.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, and I was like one of the presenters for that. It was much more like a group kind of thing where they bring in presenters all the time. But yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a question here from Anothe Strife, Jason.
Oh, classic. Hey, I didn't know you were here.
And because he's your neighbor.
Yeah, we know.
You guys
yeah, we've
live-
chatted online. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, really cool.
Jason says, how much does having a live audience impact RP stuff? I was thinking about that. I've done a lot of games that were live online. But I've never done one in front of an audience.
That was my
like
first
that.
time in front of a live
And,
audience.
I mean, there were probably 500 people there.
More, I think, yeah. By the end, like maybe, close to 600. Maybe,
and at first, like when we first walked out and sat down, and like the lights are on,
yeah, it's very bright.
and you can hear
Surprisingly so.
anytime somebody says something even a little bit funny, laughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, ooh. There took me a second to kind of go, okay, I gotta sort of try and block
Steady
that out
yourself.
and just stay
Yeah.
where I'm at. But I think before too long for me, I didn't think about it too much.
No, I honestly found myself forgetting pretty much immediately.
And a lot of that is probably that most of us knew each other well.
We know each other,
We're
and
friends. We played together.
Yeah, we played together a bunch of
We've
times
got
now,
chemistry.
and the dudes, of course, like
Yeah,
are lovely and
yeah.
like. You'd think it would. I mean, the energy's nice in the room.
Yes.
You're kind of bouncing around.
And you
but
do feed off it a little bit.
You do, yeah.
And if anything, for me at least, I do think that I probably spend a little bit more time thinking about what's something funny that I can say or do.
Yeah, I suppose you because
Than I
it's a show.
typically would. Yeah,
because
yeah.
in the you have to some degree entertain. But I think because Drakkenheim's quite a serious setting, and Monty does such a good job of crafting a very visceral texture around
and reining people in if it's getting too zany.
He's good at basically just bringing it back, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like a full comedy show where you're looking for the one-liner all the time, and just by playing, because he's such a good DM and because the players are all so good, you can just by playing the game, you have a great time.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
And people are gonna have a great time. I got loads of great feedback from people today saying how much they enjoyed it. I'll have to watch it when we get to see it, but
Yeah, I'm a little nervous to rewatch
yeah,
it.
I'm worried I will just
but-
like spend the entire time staring at myself and be like, that was terrible, that's terrible, like so cringe.
But I think I'm gonna do it anyways.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, you've got to improve, right? As well.
Yeah.
Like, I will try and find ways to get better because I hope to do. I had such a good time. I would love to do it again.
Yes.
So I've got to get better.
Talking with Tim, our agent, he seems to think that it's gonna be a
recurring
thing.
I hope
in
so.
the future. Okay, let me get another question from Discord here. Some stuff about notifications, server side, blah blah blah. Okay. Shadar Bai, a play on the Shadar Kai, I believe, elf. Given the last UA, are you happy with the samey design approach 2024 is seemingly taking? Teleport, temporary hit points, disadvantage, or if you're reduced to 0, then you get X HP, etc. So yeah, we are seeing, and I'm glad this is a good one to have you.
This is actually
on.
a good question. No, I've noticed it too. I'm glad I'm not like going crazy. I sometimes feel like I come across as overcritical, like because in the past, like Wizards of the Coast as a company have done things I disagree with. So every time I say something about a subclass
People
that I
are
don't
just like, you just hate WotC.
Well, they don't say that, but I really worry that you would think that. But one thing that I did find a bit like disappointing is a strong word, but it does. Yeah, disappointing is the amount of subclasses now that just get like level 6 or level 10 fly speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right. You fall to 0 hit points. Don't worry, you're back up
You're
with
back up.
3
And it's not
times
just
your
1
level.
anymore. It's,
No,
it's like 3 times
it's
your
not.
level.
It's
and
very
that
common.
Makes it good.
And also that whole thing of like, I mean, it's fun content to talk about, so I don't begrudge it too much, but the whole like backwards compatible thing.
Yeah.
Great. Love that. But then they're re-releasing all the old subclasses anyway. You know what I mean? So is it backwards compatible?
Sure.
Right? Like if it's backwards compatible, you should be able to use the old Hexblade, but they're remaking the Hexblade.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
I would rather they just did like entirely new stuff. Yeah, just like plow on forward. But I feel like they're relying on their old hits.
I can see the reason for updating older stuff, only because they probably want to maybe bring it in line, sort of from a power perspective. You know, whether it's the Purple Dragon Knight, which notoriously is bad,
Yes,
or maybe the Hexblade, which is notoriously maybe too good.
Yeah,
you know
and especially with the changes to Pact of the Blade as well.
Right,
It doesn't
right.
really exist
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. It's like, why go Hexblade when you can just be a charisma-based attacker by taking, Pact of the Blade with a single level Warlock dip. Still.
Yeah, it's the exact same.
So yeah, I mean, because Hexblade largely in the UA, I think is a little weaker, which I don't know. Is
They've run it
necessarily
back
a bad
twice
thing.
now. The
Yeah.
first one I remember I was very disappointed.
The Hex,
with. Yeah, the Hex
Reliance thing.
I mean, it was
sucked,
just the Ranger thing again, a little bit, but
Right. Otherwise, I guess I'd agree with you. Like, they do seem to be repeating a lot of the same things for lots of different classes and subclasses, as far as the stuff that was mentioned. Temporary hit points. I did when the last UA came out. Chris Treant Monk and I, did a series of videos, kind of going over all the subclasses. And Chris tends to be more critical than me, just I think by nature, our personalities, and he was, just going off on that some of the times, like, oh wow, like another like, temporary HP thing, blah blah blah.
I mean, honestly, it's a question to ask them in a way. The designers, I think they probably worry a lot about criticism. I'm sure they take their job very seriously and they love the game a lot. I'm sure it's very painful because I think people are more inclined to be, because they're a big company, are more inclined to probably be a little bit less charitable with their feedback than they would be for a third-party book.
Yeah.
So
some startup.
It would be interesting to give them that question, but in a safe space, not in like you get them in an interview and like you're screwing it up, but like in a genuine like, so this is some feedback that the community are you doing that on purpose, like, or why is that? Is it like a time thing? Like, are you trying to bring stuff in line power level, and repeating ideas kind of does that, right? If everyone gets a fly speed around level 6 to 14, then I guess
Well, and part of the problem too is like, if I don't know, if a lot of subclasses get a fly speed, then suddenly it's like, oh shoot, well, this is really powerful, and now like this subclass is like way stronger than these other subclasses because they have a fly speed. Maybe we need to give that out more liberally.
Yeah, that's it. Make it, in a way, it does kind of depower the flying species as well, right?
Yeah.
If Genie Warlocks, Genie Warlocks, they got it at level 6, and they were always great. But now the Dragon Sorcerer gets it. There's the Monk, the Elements Monk gets it, right? Like, so. Yeah.
Well, hopefully WotC can improve in their creativity a little bit, and that.
Yeah, I think it's difficult because I think that if they're too zany, I think third party is more expected to be a bit zany. You're more expected to push the boundaries, but WotC kind of, I think, whether this is true or not, I think they see themselves as defining the boundaries that other people then push.
Right.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I think they could have more fun with it, but
yeah. Matt, when do we get to watch the play session from Gen Con? Is that tonight? No, they live streamed it, but then stay tuned. I'm thinking next week probably we'll
that would be great.
On YouTube, but
I hope so.
But we'll see. You will for sure hear from us. All right, let's see. My players gonna be. I'm just checking the comments here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Do you have content planned for Stormlight? Class breakdown, book breakdown, optimization ideas, etc. Sorry if you've already answered this. From Greedon. Sorry. Both of our voices.
Yeah. It's just a lot of talking, and you just end up with a really. I'm down in the water constantly. Do you want one to say?
I would love one.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Talking and yelling. So, sorry. Yeah, Stormlight. So Tuesday, I have a video coming out. Thank you so much. That's a review of the Cosmere RPG. My son Knox is editing it as we speak. I've told him to liberally include lots of the fantastic artwork that is in those books because it's so good. And it's a pretty deep dive. Just as a way of a preview, it's a pretty deep dive into like what I think of sort of the main books that are coming out, but I don't really get into the mechanics too much, with a few exceptions, just because I did that how to play the Cosmere RPG a year ago when it dropped.
The first draft.
when their
Playtest.
when their Kickstarter dropped, and the good news, I think, you may disagree if you're familiar with the system, is that it didn't actually change that much between a year ago and release as far as the mechanics go. I think that's because they play tested the crap out of it and
they really locked it in
got
before
a lot of
announcing
feedback
it.
and it's I think it's pretty tight, and so I reference that other video a lot in my review videos. I'm like, I'm not going to tell you how to play. Go back and watch that video.
Yeah.
I've got links to it in the video description because that'll tell you. So if you don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about investiture and you're using your actions and your reactions and this costs 2 actions or blah blah blah, it's because you have to watch that other video. I'm not gonna rehash how the game works. So yeah, then that said, am I going to do additional Cosmere RPG content? As always, it'll depend largely on how this video performs.
Of course, yeah.
Maybe to answer the original question, what third-party stuff would you do if you did it? That's the way I would lean a little bit.
You're a huge fan of the world.
I'm a huge fan of the world of the author, and I think the game looks great. So and I think it lends itself very well to coming up with cool, creative, fun character builds. There's lots that you can do, and they actually actively encourage what you would call multi-classing.
Oh, okay, great, yeah.
Multi-pathing, it would be. But just, it's a pretty simple system. It's almost video gamey in that every time you gain a level, you get 1 talent point. And you can spend that talent point to go deeper in the path that you've chosen, or you can take another path.
So it's more like a skill tree system in a video game.
Yeah, for sure. But there's not a lot that prohibits you from, in D&D equivalent to say taking a talent in wizard and then taking a talent in rogue if you want, and taking some talents in paladin. You know what I mean? They don't have a lot of prerequisites. Some of the more powerful talents might have some actually skill rank prerequisites. You've got to be better at acrobatics.
That's
in
like
order
a 3.5E. Oh, that's a 3E thing, right?
Yeah,
where you have what are they called? They don't have subclasses. They've got.
I can't remember what they're called.
That is a thing though, where you can take any class at any time, but you have to. Some of them have something you have to be evil aligned, or something you have to be sneak 3 or something. Yeah.
So, anyways, that I think is probably what I might say I'm most wanting to do as far as create content for a new system. But yeah, it'll depend on how the Cosmere RPG video performs, what demand is like. I do still get a lot of demand to do Daggerheart. Do builds for Daggerheart, and having met Matt Mercer now, and we chatted just a little bit about that, and he's like, oh yeah, we got to get you the books, and actually I had a talk with Todd Kenrick.
Oh yeah, Did you see Todd? No, I've chatted to Todd multiple nights now. Yeah.
So we were talking last night, and he was like, we got to do a Daggerheart video together, and I'm like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, okay, sure. So still getting a lot of requests for that too, but. So we'll see on the Stormlight. Stay tuned. Hopefully you guys like the video that comes out Tuesday, and we'll go from there. Okay, let's take another question from Discord. Sorry, this is going longer than.
It's okay.
than I told you.
We got time. It's not even 4.
Okay, scrolling down. Swole Knight says, "Did I skip one? No. Okay, Swole Knight. Hey, Colby, loving your recent builds. I know Gish is what you say your favorite playstyle is. What are some runners-up?" I do love me some Gishes, especially agile striker type gishes. But runner up would be tank for me. Like, I love playing like a big, beefy, take a hit for your team kind of character. Cool. And so paladins, are to me sort of like my second go-to. Barbarians are fun too. But yeah, that kind of, if I'm gonna play a tank though, I like to play one who isn't just hard to kill, right?
Yes, like, you gotta have a bit more. Taunting is huge.
Yeah, right? And not really something you can do in D&D a lot.
Mechanically, there's quite a high level. The ancestral,
guardian, barbarian. Yeah, I mean,
very late game.
There are things that you can do that like discourage enemies from attacking other people, but there's really not a lot that's like you. Like, if an enemy fails their save against this, they must attack you and no one else.
Right, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And so finding a way to make that happen, obviously, but then also maybe you can have some nice control or do some burst damage or something, which kind of is pretty easy to come by with a paladin, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Though less easy these days than it used to be. So yeah, that's probably my second go-to, and I used to. It's so funny. When I was younger, when I used to play D&D as like in junior high or whatever, I only ever wanted to play like spellcasters, like full casters.
Oh, you want the
magic
explosions?
Users. Yeah, I wanted fireballs, and I wanted polymorph, and that was what I lived for. And for some reason, like that gameplay doesn't appeal to me as much as it used to. I think it started with World of Warcraft when I played a rogue, and I loved it so much.
The intimacy of
something
close
about
by death.
Sneaky, fast, kind of glass cannon-y, bursty, was so fun. I just loved it, and then every game I played since, that was always like my go-to. Like Guild Wars 2, I loved playing a thief in that game, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know what are your favorite.
Yeah,
I'm guessing like caster. You're kind of a caster
I do like
guy.
casters a lot. I mean, Warlock is my favorite class. I like customizable characters generally. So I think the invocation system is really clever.
Yeah.
But honestly, it sounds the character itself is really what makes me love a character. You know what I mean? The person that comes out of the
personality.
Sometimes the subclass design kind of informs how you play a character. Sometimes you play against type, and you're a really nice, friendly barbarian or a really kind of foolish wizard, but yeah, I mean, I love the Blade Singer. I think everyone does. I enjoyed Hexblades. I do like Paladins. I love Sorcerers a huge amount as well. I like spellcasters that can both go big and splashy on enemies and also support allies. I think Sorcerer is great for that. With twin spell polymorph, like turning one person into a worm and one person into a T-Rex. Something like that is very fun.
Alas.
Yeah. They stole it from us. Never forget what they took from us.
Okay. Let's see. Are there any more questions from the comments? Doesn't look like it. Oh wait, would Ryokos ever come to D&D Beyond?
I don't own Ryokos per se. I'm just the mechanical designer. That would be up to Loot Tavern. Loot Tavern have put stuff on D&D Beyond before. They've got Heliana's Guide out there. If I would not stop them. I mean, I couldn't stop them legally.
Sure.
I have 1/3 of the votes. They have 2/3 of the votes. So if they wanted to do it, and they were like, and I was like, never. They could do it anyway.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't. They're nice people. But I absolutely wouldn't stop it. I wouldn't block it. I'd be totally fine with it. I think the third-party stuff on D&D Beyond is really cool. I think it's a really good move by Wizards. I think the D&D Beyond team is lovely. The only thing I say if it went on D&D Beyond is I've worked out how much money I need to survive. I'm doing just fine. I would just give my percentage away. I think that's what I would do. I think that's the best way to handle it, is just say, that's really wonderful that more people can enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't need it. I don't particularly want it per se. Like, I'm not going to, I wouldn't do anything with it. It would just be sitting there. I'll just, I'll pass it on to someone who actually needs it. I think that would be a win-win, actually. Yeah, it would get my support, but I personally am not interested in taking Wizards of the Coast money.
Sure.
But not because I hate them, just because I don't need it, and I would like to stay financially completely impartial no matter what. I think that has some value to me. But I think it's wonderful that the Dungeon Dudes are up there. I think it's wonderful that you're working with them. I think it's wonderful that Ginny's working with them.
I'm not much of a creator when it comes to stuff like
Oh,
that.
but
So
you,
I don't
you've
think
done
I'd ever...
some work literally for the promotion.
Oh,
so I
yeah,
thought
yeah,
that was,
yeah.
I
No,
thought that was wonderful.
yeah,
I think that's
Todd-
such a great move from them.
It was...
Yeah,
it
although
was-
in a weird way, maybe that's why Todd's not working there. Did you take his job? Because
He is the one that interviewed me for that little bit.
okay, so that's how you met. Is
And
that-
then he got
yeah.
fired
Oh,
like a
okay.
week later, so you might be right.
Yeah. They were like, we got this Colby guy. He'll do it for a bag of nuts. Well, I thought that was cool. Yeah, it could do.
Yeah.
But it's not up to me. And I think it would be good though. And people might be surprised to say I think it would be good, but I would just give my part away.
I do love that they have been bringing a lot more, Hit Point Press. I mean, there's just a ton of stuff
absolutely.
that they're bringing in for third parties.
I mean, that's something to consider as well. Ryokos is like, it's coming out now, but it's actually like 2 years old. I mean, I should imagine they're working with people for the future.
Yeah, maybe.
Like they'll be getting upcoming Kickstarters are going to drop on,
But-
or upcoming projects. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I still hope. I hope they get the Dungeon Dudes, Sebastian Crow's book up there. That's the one that has the.
That's the one in the middle.
monk
Yeah,
and
because
stuff like that.
Drakenheim's more an adventure book.
Right.
I think the monster book's out though, right? It was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm
it's-
sure
yeah.
they will then. I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
Because Ghostfire Gaming is a big publisher
Yeah.
now. They're really big in the space. So.
Right. Okay, I saw another question here. Are you planning to play Solasta 2 on PC when it early releases later this year? Our group is looking forward to getting a multiplayer game based off of SRD 5.2 with the 2024 rule set. I've heard a lot about Solasta 2. Well, I take that back. I've heard some about Solasta 2. I don't play a lot of video games. Do you?
I'm very much like, there's a video game I enjoyed when I was a child. I'm going to dig it out,
Yeah.
And play that again. I don't play new stuff. I use it exclusively as like a nostalgia trip when I have time, which is very rarely.
For the first 20 years of my marriage, which is coming up on 25.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a big time.
I played pretty much every night for 2-3 hours.
Oh, wow.
My wife and I worked out this thing where whatever, you guys don't care about that. Anyway, it was like, so I, World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, Civ games. Oh my gosh, I have 1,500 hours in between Civ 5 and Civ 6. League of Legends, I was huge into League of Legends for 7 years probably, and fighting my way up through ranked play and stuff. And a couple of years ago, I don't know what it was, all of a sudden my interest in video games just kind of fell off a cliff. And it's not that I don't play, but Baldur's Gate 3, obviously,
yes, that was a big one, right? But pulled you out of retirement,
but
you know what I mean?
Generally, I get at night and it's I kind of want to, if I'm going to play a game, I don't want it to be super stressful. So I want it to be turn-based.
Slower pace.
You know what I mean?
You can pick, and then if one of the kids is needs something, you just put it down.
Yeah.
You don't need to be this game's over because I need to run. Yeah, exactly.
Or read a book. I almost would rather just read at this point. That said, there's a weird thing that happens to me every fall, and I don't know why it's the fall, but every fall, and so it's coming up.
Yeah, you can feel it.
I can actually, I can feel it bubbling from inside. Where I want to get a good RPG. It's always an RPG that's got a great story and has a beautiful aesthetic.
Right.
And
Maybe.
I wanna get cozy with some apple cider.
And just kind of play through.
And cuddle up with a nice, cozy, fun, beautiful RPG.
Maybe Expedition 33 then. That's the really...
That is
the
exact game
Is that the one that
I was going to say?
Yeah.
I've bought the game. I've downloaded it.
It's ready and waiting for you. It's just one more month.
Kelly and Monty were this is the best game of all time.
They are loving it.
You have to play this.
I was chatting to them about it just yesterday. Yeah, we were raving.
The one thing, though, that I will say is that I started to play. I played the prologue of it only 2 months ago, maybe.
Okay.
And I didn't want to go back. I didn't feel compelled to go back to it. And I think the main reason is because the combat has a bit of a twitchiness to it, where you gotta dodge.
Yes,
or
there's some
block,
button prompt
and I'm terrible at those kinds of things in video games, having to hit the button at exactly the right time, or you die basically. And so I'm kind of gosh, is there is there a patch? Not a patch. Is there a mod that I can download for this that
just knocks
that
it
turns
out?
that off?
Yeah,
or
okay,
makes
yeah,
the
there will-
window
there
like
will be.
3 seconds long.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure. By now, because it's such a huge game,
Yeah, I don't know.
you'll be able to.
But I I'm interested in Solasta too, because I know it's kind of D&D influenced essentially, right? On that rule set. So I don't know. Have you played? Or
I don't know Celeste 2 at all. I haven't heard of it even.
So Matt, that's a maybe. I'll
Yeah.
keep it on my. I'm curious about this list. All right, let's see if we can hammer out a couple more Discord questions here. It's awesome. Oh, okay. This one turned into a bit of a conversation, so hopefully I don't have to take 10 minutes to answer. Hi, Colby, from Pleishner. Hi, Colby, I noticed that you often say 2 things, that you are bound by the spreadsheets when you're creating some build, and that if you would play this character, you would build it differently. Maybe your selected criteria for optimization is the source of this misalignment.
Oh.
For example, damage done per damage taken could be a very nice optimization criteria, either in general or as its own category, and should produce results much more closer to what you, according to what you often say yourself, would play. I will say, and there's kind of some back and forth in the comments after that. Let's see if I can do a quick answer. I don't see it as a misalignment. Maybe is my response. Like, I think I'm pretty upfront, as you guys all know, about like when I do a build, I'm always saying like, okay, I'm gonna explore what's possible here, like from a damage perspective or from a survivability perspective, depending on what I'm building for and crunching numbers for, right?
Yeah.
And so we're gonna kind of do everything we can in our feat choices, in our ability score choices, etc., to try and maximize the thing for the spreadsheet, and then and just to explore what's possible, and then let you decide, viewer, like where you would kind of reel it back a little bit in the name of versatility, survivability, whatever. And so then, as I go, a lot of times I'll say, okay, at level 8 we get a new feat, and I'm going to take this because it's gonna be the thing that adds more
Bumps,
damage.
yeah, the number.
Even though like it's just a pretty small increase, and so if it were me playing this, I might make a different choice and instead
Yes,
take,
you could.
something
There's
else.
some of the utility or subtler, like the speedy feat or
Sure,
whatever. that
Mage
can be
Slayer,
like- yeah, Mage Slayer.
yeah.
Some kind of like it's not really going to change. It
Right.
might be a muff on play pattern, but
And I kind of like doing that. Like, I think it's useful for people and fun too, to me and hopefully to others, to kind of say, yeah, like let's see what's really possible here if we just go all out, right? And then I can know, like, okay, well, yeah, like the biggest gains are coming from X, Y, and Z, but A, B, and C only give small increments, and or maybe I'll hold off on taking Great Weapon Master because it's really important for me to hold on to concentration, so I'm going to take Warcaster first, or whatever.
of course, yeah.
And I kind of like that. I like having the builds hopefully feel a little bit more like, here's kind of a here's a what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, like a mannequin to sort of drape an idea over, but it's not something that's like hard and set in stone and like this is what you must do and this is right and this is wrong, and you know what I mean? It's like, here's an idea, here's a concept we're gonna explore, and like here's kind of here's sort of the core of the build, but then here's some changes that you could potentially make depending on your, I don't know, I think I prefer presenting my builds that way. And just that way it keeps people, I think, a little bit less like if I'm trying to say this is the best thing to do, and
Yes.
and anything else is subpar,
Yeah,
then you get a lot of people
Yes,
going,
like,
oh,
actually,
you're wrong,
yeah, no, you're right.
or whatever. And so I kind of want to just
It
present it
never
like, hey,
hurts. Yeah, reaffirm that it's a choice.
Right,
And
right.
you can do this. Yeah, it's just a broader video. I mean, it's good to give like options, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Turn on easy mode. It increases the timing. Oh, he's talking
Expedition
about
33. Yeah.
Turn on easy mode. It increases the timing windows by 40% or something. Okay. Destroy an expedition is worth it. I know. That's what I keep hearing, right?
Yeah.
And not only that, but like I am a true Francophile. Like I love all things French.
Yeah.
And I love Paris is my favorite city in the world, like, you know, and so the fact that it's very, you know,
Yeah, it's got the vibe.
it's-
Yeah, it's very.
you
It's
know,
got that
and,
pretentious juiciness. Yeah, yeah. That snobby French style. Yeah,
spoken as like a true Brit.
yeah. Every English person knows. Have you heard of Paris syndrome?
No.
It's Paris syndrome is a thing that it's really big in Asia.
Okay.
Which is where like people from Japan, they've seen Paris so often in culture, and,
Yes.
and they've got such a they go to Paris and they
Yeah.
get physically ill because they are so disappointed.
Oh, really?
It's a real thing. This sounds like a joke, but it's not. It's an actual condition. I'll bring it up.
Paris
I'm,
syndrome.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Because they are so profoundly disappointed with Paris.
Why? It's so. I've only ever been more in love with the
There's
place.
the
every time
Wikipedia
I go.
article. It's a sense of extreme disappointment. The culture shock of disappointment is so high, and then particularly among Japanese tourists.
Uh-huh.
And then it's delusional states, hallucinations, feelings of persecution, aggression, anxiety, dizziness, sweating, and vomiting. Just by visiting Paris.
You know what? I love that is that
It's a
is
real
thing.
thing. It's a real
because
thing.
because maybe it will keep people from going there and it will get less crowded.
Yes, it's really. Yeah, I mean,
So-
I've been to Paris
so
a few
that
times.
when
I was
I'm
mugged
there-
the first time.
Were you really?
Yeah, as a child.
Okay.
Yeah, I was doing a music tour in Paris.
Okay.
As a kid, and
you
yeah,
got mugged.
some kids mugged us.
Wow.
Yeah. I was about 12.
Probably because you're British.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And they're like, "This is for Louis."
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, we like it's all playful. Like the
Yeah.
English people and French people, we're very, very similar. We love
Yeah.
each other. But
Yeah.
I you know, that's cool. It's a beautiful city at its heart. I think it's
Yes.
just Paris sprawls out and it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. So if you
The
actually
further
do
out you
the
get.
if
Yeah.
it gets more and more just into like grim city vibes.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's good. Okay, let's see. I think there was one more question that I was going to try and get to. In all seriousness, I think this is like the conversation around that last question. Maybe that was the last question.
Oh, we
Oh,
wrapping
wait,
it?
no,
Oh,
I got
last
one. I got. How would you go about building something that's pretty bad conceptually, like a sorcerer using a specific weapon?
Ooh, I got an idea.
I mean, I do a lot of builds like that, right? That are sort of, okay, we're going to build around the dart, for example, right? One of my favorite builds that I ever did, the Needler. Or, you know, we're going to build around the whip. I've done a few of those now. Not that that's just straight up bad. Obviously, it's got some advantages. But yeah, I like to do things like that. As far as like explaining how I would go about building something that's pretty bad conceptually, I don't know if I would do that, Sleep. Because I like to find a way to do things that work well, and if I can't find a way to make it feel at least sort of viable and like useful, you know, I do like to kind of force myself, like tie one hand behind my back and do a build around like an underpowered subclass or, you know, whatever that's kind of seen as not super powerful, but if I
Leans into
can't,
the strength of it, if you
Yeah.
can find one.
yeah, if I can't find a way to make it like, oh, you know what, this is maybe better than I thought, or better than what most
People
people
think.
maybe would have thought, then I won't do it. I mean, I did a Sorcerer Gish build a couple of months ago that surprised me and went really well. So
Yeah,
that kind
you
of made me
can-
go, oh, okay, like I'm doing a video
monoclass
on this.
Sorcerer, just no hexblades. Yeah.
No, it had, well, you know what? Now I can't remember.
Yeah, because
It
there's
might have
definitely a
been-
sorcerer hexadin thing.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is
yeah.
a gish.
Oh yeah,
can
yeah.
find.
No, it was. I can't remember now. I'd have to. There's too many builds that float around in my brain, and I have a hard time remembering exactly the things that I did. But I think at least one of the sorcerer gishes that I've done recently were straight class. Maybe the one I did for Dragon Week, for the Monster Week.
Oh,
that
that
we
might
did.
be, yeah.
I don't remember. Anyways,
On the subject, I made a sort of sorcerer's answer to the Bladesinger recently. Like
you?
as a custom subclass, yeah.
Oh, nice.
I can't remember what it was even called. I'm just making them all the time, like for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess you don't do that so much, but
no.
it's definitely something that I think your audience would love. Actually,
Hmm.
if one day you were like, it's impossible to make a sorcerer gish, but we're gonna do it anyway, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
build it like
Yeah.
across the video. That's kind of like what Pony Hat does, right? Instead
Yeah.
of just like he'll be like, this sucks, I'm gonna make it
He's
better.
gonna- yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like you could just build one, like make a feat, make a subclass feature,
Yeah.
that does it.
Yeah. Maybe one day. Maybe one day when I really want to get out my creative chops.
It's time as well, isn't it?
Last question from Joshy P. I'm a pretty light, humorous person, but all my D&D characters tend to be kind of serious. How do you go about making light characters that don't veer all the way into shtick joke characters? Okay, Joshy P, that's a great question and a good one to end on, and a good one to have Will in the room for.
Yeah.
Because I actually am a little bit like you, Joshy P. My characters tend to be pretty like I play them straight, right? Not as opposed to gay, but I mean like they're a little more serious oftentimes. That said, probably my favorite character that I've ever played in like a longer campaign was a gal by the name of Ceradon, that I played for the Tales of Aneria. If you guys ever want to watch like an actual play that I was involved in, Tales of Aneria, Aneria, was a campaign that I think it's still going. I left probably 3 years ago, but we had a year plus campaign that I played this. It was a Hexblade Warlock, multi-classed with everything that you would imagine.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
They were awesome and powerful, and I loved playing her. And she was pretty jokey. She was a little bit of a lighthearted, a little bit of like ditzy. I don't know, I want to say ditzy, but yeah. And I had a lot of fun with that. But as far as advice, I mean, gosh, what advice would you give? I
think as long as you can have a kind of silly character or a larger than life character that brings a lot of humor, but I think it only gets potentially annoying. It depends on your group.
Sure.
But I think it only gets potentially annoying if you're undermining the situation.
Yes.
Because you can have a goofy character who's like the kind of guy I played yesterday or whatever it was, the day before. He's not like, he was a Tome Warlock with the 50 Shades of Grey was his book.
Yes.
As like and he kind of developed Eldritch powers and he was sort of a failure, but he wasn't like, that doesn't mean he didn't, if you encountered a monster, he wasn't joking around. Like, he took it seriously. Right. Like, he had real bonds. He felt, it hurt when people were mean to him. Mm-hmm. He wanted to be liked, and he was trying to find ways to make friends. And he had a moment where he was kind of explaining that he had always felt like a bit of a loser, but he didn't feel like it when he was with this group. He felt more like he was. Okay.
That was actually a great moment in the game, and everybody kind of paused and went, "Oh."
Yeah, well, he was, because me and Kelly kind of resolved a little bit of
a tension.
So as long as I think you can actually have ridiculously silly characters as long as they, again, depending on the game, unless everyone's doing crazy things, it doesn't matter. But if you want a real, not to override anyone else, as long as you just treat the character as a character. Because if you have someone who's like goofy, and then they get stabbed and they're joking around, that's not really being goofy. That's like being like actually psychopathic.
Yeah.
Like no one would ever respond that way. If they saw their best friend die and they were like laughing about it, that's like that's not really a character
at
that point.
Psychotic.
Yeah.
I think for me, maybe what made it work for Ceradon was like, I think you got to find the character's motivation, right? And sort of like understand, well, why is it that they are so goofy? Are they trying to hide something? Are they trying to mask something? Are they trying to sort of are they afraid of being vulnerable? If so, why? Are they using humor as a way to sort of deflect? Because that was the case, right, for her, and every character, every I think good D&D character probably has some trauma.
Yeah.
I mean, we all do, right?
Yeah, and it's a useful narrative in a world of monsters and horrors.
Yeah,
you're probably going to be a bit more messed up than your average Joe in real life.
And so you kind of think about it from that perspective and find times to, even if you're kind of lighthearted and jokey 90% of the time, find moments, maybe even work with your DM, right?
Yes.
Where you can inject some gravitas into the character and have like a kind of a heartfelt, impactful moment for the character, and that kind of keeps him grounded and keeps him from just being a clown, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah. Well, okay. I've taken an hour of your time.
It was a good hour. That was a fun hour.
It was.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this.
No, it's my pleasure. Thanks. Yeah, it's nice to meet all your guys, your crew, your posse.
So, thank you guys for watching, for the questions. Thanks for the support. Love you. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Again, tune in on Tuesday for the Cosmere review video. Even if you're not interested, I would appreciate it if you watch.
Yeah, just give it a try.
Just mute it and go make lunch or whatever. But no, I'm excited about that video and I'm excited about that game. So I hope that it gets a good response. I hope people like it. But anyways, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Cool.
What's next? Let's go watch the Fantastic Four. We're
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah,
go to a
that's up
matinee.
to time.
I'm sick of this
Yeah.
con.
We need some space.
All right.
See you later, everybody.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Boop. Oh.